Yar, I'm back. It's the Irish Pirate, and today we're going to be looking how to add a score to our Scratch program. So what we have here is let's get back into it. All right, so it's Friday. It is Tech Tip Friday, and it is the last day of our Scratch party. So we are going to get a little bit deeper, and we're going to be looking at variables. Now, variables is something fun you can add for your junior students, so they can kind of see how that works. And what I like about introducing variables in Scratch is that when you talk about them in Scratch, it starts to make sense to them. They say, oh, it's a number that changes. And then when you bring it into math, that integration is so simple because like, oh, I understand a variable. We've done that before. So it's really a great way of introducing that. So I go back into my stuff, and we're going to see inside of my project, which we started out with voice and characters and backgrounds. And we sent out messages so that new characters could come in, and we've asked questions so that students can respond. So here we go. It's loading the project, creating the blocks, building itself up, and we will be getting right back into it as soon as that happens. So here we are. So now what we're going to be doing is we've got the whole thing happening. We're just going to, yesterday we said we should be editing this first one where my voice was involved because I talked too much. So I'm going to actually just delete that whole voice block. It was too much. So, and here we go. So that was all with the cat, and here's how it looks so far. He's your Scratch cat.
It's like a fence. It goes around. How many spaces does it take to go around your entire shape?
Perfect. And we got to answer the questions. Beautiful. So I'm going to stop the program right there. It's all good. It was working well. And we're going back down here. Oh, that's not quite as far as we needed to go. To minus 30. Where did we start? Blue. Beautiful. All right. So this needs to say minus 30. Because we can see up there it hasn't gone to where it needs to be. Perfect. So now we're going to talk about variables. So variables are, as we've discussed, something that changes. So a score changes. And we want to give our students that instant feedback by giving them a score on how they do. So you actually have to create your own variable. So I'm just going to click make a variable, and I'm going to call it score. Now we realize that this is the score that changes, and it's awesome. It pops it up, and it starts at 0. So what we need to remember, though, is that when a program runs, it will give a score, but it should always start at 0. So when the centaur comes, when we're going to start this process, we want to set the variable to 0 so that when we get going, it's going to be 0 right off the hop. So I'm just having a little bit of trouble here. Set my variable to 0, get that in there. Boom, I'm going to move this over so I can actually work on it. And now it's going to start out at 0. So if the answer equals 3, if they get it right, we're going to change my variable by 1 because the score is going to go up by 1. So here we go. But we don't want to change my variable. We want to change score by 1. And we want to hide my variable. So we don't want to see that. All right, so set score to 0. And if we get it right, we go up by 1. Students love this. They can give themselves like 1,000,000 points. If you get it right. You can also take points away if you get it wrong, right? So if I get it wrong, you could, which I am not recommending, but you could change it by -1. Therefore, if I get it wrong, I get -1. Here we go. Let's see how that looks. It's going to teach us all about perimeter, ask us some questions. All right, that's not doing what we expected. Let's go through the rest of the score thing, and then we will do it. So we want to change my score by 1 every time we get it right. So every time there's an answer, if answer equals 3, change score by 1. Go down through our code. Change score by 1 if we get it right. Change score by 1 if we get it right. And students are going to see this, and they're going to use it on the first one that you show them. And then if they get the total answer right, I'm going to give them 10. There's so many things you can do and take this and go beyond this, but this is just a great way to start. So what you've done here now is created basically a full lesson with instant feedback for your students where you're involved, your voice is there, so you get that personal touch, and the students get to see how the code works, and then they can start to make their own quizzes, and they are going to be super engaged in this. So I highly recommend trying it out. Let's run the program and see how it actually works. If I just go to the sprite cat, I'm going to just move this up a little higher. And we'll change the wait to 3 seconds. I think this should be perfect. Let's see. Here's your scratch cat.
It's like a fence. It goes around. How many spaces does it take to go around your entire shape?
Perfect. Got a great shape. Look at the colored line. How many squares does each cover? Well, let's say I'm going to get the first one wrong on purpose. 2. No, it's 3. Oh, 3. Here we go. Hey, look, my score went up by 1. 6. Hey, my score went up by another 1. Get it wrong. 4. My score doesn't change. I'm learning, though, through him. 6 plus 3 plus 3 plus 6. Oh, I know that's 18. Add them up. Get it right. And now I have 12 points. Get my little bonus lesson.
So challenge yourself. Can you create your own program that asks for perimeter? See what you can do today while you try to draw different shapes, count up their lengths, and put them all together. And that'll help you get perimeter.
Yar! It's perfect. I love it. I can't believe how well that works. It's just beautiful. There we go. We've taught the lesson, and you've created your very own Scratch lesson for your students. Good luck. I hope you get a chance to use this. And yeah, let me know how it all goes. All right, bye-bye.